best Chelsea 11 is as of right now in the transfer window. I'm flying from California to Italy. I'm going to be at a wedding. 6 things we learned might have been the previous video, or it might be the next video, okay? So make sure you guys are subscribed to the George Benson football channel, because this coming season, for the first time, I mean, that's actually a lie, because last season I was very excited. But this season, I actually feel as though we might be onto something, because what we are doing right now in the transfer market, whether you love the signings that we've made or not, we are certainly addressing problems in the Chelsea squad. What I want to do today is build what I think the best 11 is at the time of recording. I still think there's work to be done in the transfer window. There is still a big question mark about the midfield. Is it Enzo Fernandez? Is he going to be there, be ready, be excited to be a Chelsea player? Or are Man City going to come in? PSG, Real Madrid, are we going to sell him? And if that's the case, who do we bring in to replace him? Caicedo is obviously staying. Caicedo is one of the first names on the team sheet, whether it's Maresca, Rafinha, as if we had Leo Rafinha at the club, or Xabi Alonso as the manager. This is a big season, because what we are seeing right now is a massive shift in the approach in the transfer market. Blueco have noticed that what they've been doing at Chelsea Football Club has left us in a very tricky position. We've not been prioritising balance in the team, and most importantly, when it comes to the actual playing personnel that we have, physicality has been massively lacking. So what have we gone and done to address that? We have brought in 6'1" Marcos Palestra, a fullback. We have brought in 6'2" Morgan Rogers, and 6'3/6'4", he's 190 centimetres, Maxence Lacroix. These are signings that address that. You've also got Penders, who's pushing Sanchez for the number 1. He's 6'7". Emmanuel Amiga's what, 6'5". Chelsea all of a sudden have gone from looking like a threadbare lightweight side to actually having players that I think could be very useful, particularly when we've also addressed the set pieces. Bernardo Cueva's been working on set pieces for Chelsea. We weren't as bad statistically as I thought we were, but we have gone and taken Austin McPhee, one of the best set piece coaches in the world. We've taken him from Aston Villa, who scored as many goals as anybody last season from set pieces, and we have now got him to work with Xabi Alonso at Chelsea, who, speaking of which, Xabi Alonso too, by the way. I've been making tons of short videos addressing the brilliant stuff that we can see in training with the hands-on approach that Xabi Alonso has. Every single player that we have heard so far conducting interviews from Chelsea is saying how exciting it is to be playing under a manager. You can see it when he's spraying balls around the pitch. Xabi Alonso still got the technique and he knows what to do. Not only that, but the history of him as a manager. He was managing at Real Madrid. Did he do a bad job? No. Real Madrid is a poison chalice unless you have literally got the biggest ego in the world. That's why Jose Mourinho is back there. Xabi Alonso didn't do bad in Madrid. He also won the league with Leverkusen without losing a flipping game. They went invincible. It's incredible. And now he's our manager. And we are addressing the issues in the squad. In the last couple of days, we've been linked with what? John Stones, Jordan Henderson, Danny Welbeck. And that is an entire spine's worth of leaders, not starters. They're not going to be in this best 11 video today. Stones is going to Inter Milan for a start. But the point is, as a squad, we needed to improve. We need to deal with the financial restraints that we've got. And we need to make sure that when the going gets tough, we're not going to win every match. And it would be foolish to ever believe you are. City know that they're not going to win every match. Arsenal knew they weren't going to win every match. But Chelsea need to know that when it's getting tough, there are enough characters, personalities in the squad that we can call upon, that we can trust and rely on. And I don't want to see players at Chelsea this summer who think, for whatever reason, they're bigger than the club and bigger than the manager. And unfortunately, we've had an issue with that because we've not hired managers of a good enough standard. Whereas now, Xabi Alonso is there. I don't see anybody at this football club who's going to be able to pretend they're bigger than him. How many World Cups have you won? Enzo Fernandez is the only World Cup winner. How many flipping league titles have you won? Have you played for Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, won Champions Leagues? The answer is no. We've got an elite gaffer and we are addressing the right positions in the market. So, without any further ado, that is my little spiel to start this video about the state of the squad, the state of the club right now. I'm optimistic. I'm excited. And let's begin with the number one goalkeeper. As of right now, the number one is Robert Sanchez. Do I think Penders could take that position this season? Maybe. Do I also think Chelsea could still go in the market for another goalkeeper? Possibly. The stories that we have heard so far is that Xabi Alonso has made it clear that he's not convinced as of right now, so potentially Chelsea might enter the market for another goalkeeper. But Robert Sanchez, last season, I was impressed with him. I am not concerned going into a new Premier League season if Robert Sanchez is my number one keeper. I don't necessarily think he's the best goalkeeper in the league. He's not the best goalkeeper in the world, but he's definitely grown at Chelsea. And he's a very popular player in the dressing room as well. And Penders will be there to put the pressure on. I think last season and in seasons gone by, Chelsea haven't had good enough backups. Philip Jorgensen isn't a good enough backup. Chelsea are looking to sell him. But Penders is young. He is the next best thing to come out of Belgium. He's 6'7". He's a big player. And Chelsea have got big hopes for the future with him. So now that he's in the squad, now that he is there training, and he's going to be available, Rob Sanchez doesn't have time to have those Bozo Sanchez moments. You guys know the ones that we call out, don't we? I've got like the blinking theory when Sanchez is in the tunnel. It's a load of nonsense. I'm probably absolutely wrong, but it's just something that I've managed to correlate over the years. But Sanchez is my number one keeper right now. We move into the conversation about the formation. Xabi Alonso has had so much success with a back three during his time as a manager. Do I think Chelsea have the capacity to do that right now? Yes, I think you could have Reece James as a right centre-back, Maxence Lacroix in the middle, Levi Colwill left centre-back. I also think you could go Lacroix, Colwill, Hatto with Reece James as a wing-back. But again, the question mark is, can Reece do that? And the other question mark is on Palestra. Marcos Palestra has come in for a big amount of money, 50 million. He's very young. He was the best defender in Serie A last season. And from what we're seeing in the training videos, he's settling in very well at Chelsea. And Xabi Alonso has also alluded to the fact that he can play on either side because he's done it before. So right now, with Marc Cucurella leaving Chelsea, there is still a big void on the left. Do I think we'll use Hatto in that position? Possibly not. I think Hatto still has showed his best football at Chelsea as a centre-back, potentially, although he was good in some of the cup games last season going forward when playing as a left-back. So it could be Hatto at left-back, but for now, and again, I'm filming this video before the friendly against Sydney Wanderers, where we might start to get a bit more of an idea as to what Alonso's formational preference is. But for me right now, when I'm looking at this squad, it's a back four. And what I would say at this point, I would go with Reece James at right back, Maxence Lacroix and Levi Colwill in the middle, and Palestra at left back right now. And again, it might seem like a silly thing to say when we're talking best 11s and putting a right back who usually plays at right back in the left back position and calling it best 11. It's a gamble. Maybe it is Hatto. Maybe we sign another left back. Who knows? But I think the most important thing here is the two centre backs. Colwill wasn't fit pretty much the entirety of last season. And we know that whoever his partner was, or for last season, it was mainly Fofana, Trev, and loads of other players botching up what the best 11 was or whatever. But I think this year, Maxence Lacroix coming in, he's seen as that guy to start with Levi Colwill. Whether it's a back three or a back two, we also know that there is vulnerability in Maxence Lacroix if he is playing in a back two. But I don't think Chelsea will have only bought him in for 50 million to only be a central centre-back or a right centre-back in a back three. So I think Xabi Alonso will use Lacroix and Colwill as that preferred partnership. I want to see this as much as we can because I think these two clearly are levels above the other defenders in the squad. So it's looking a little bit shaky right now because there's still a few unknowns there. I do want to touch upon the wing-back thing because if Reece can stay fit, I think Reece would be unbelievable at it. But I also think Palestra has predominantly been brought in to be a right wing back if Xabi Alonso wants him to. that is his preferred position. So if that's the case, you'd go Reece James right centre-back, Lacroix central centre-back, Colwill left centre-back. But for now, I'm putting Reece at right-back. Let's move into the midfield. Sticking with a 4-2-3-1.